Two of my contacts in Bethel Park just sent me 2 recent yearbook photos of the gunman, Thomas Crux. We are live outside the street where he lived as law enforcement swarms his neighborhood after evacuating those who live nearby. Now, there's a video of somebody that's talking about this kid that was one of his classmates that we can go ahead and watch here.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Yeah. You said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much.
This is high school.
Yeah.
What did they, do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance. He was bullied almost every day.
So, traditional narrative. Traditional person that has historically been targeted for this type of thing from organizations that we... So let's maybe dive this way a little bit. There is more to every single presidential assassination or attempted assassination that has come to light 10, 20, 30, 50 years later. We know without a doubt they still will not release some of the information surrounding the Kennedy assassination. They still won't. Do you want to know why? Because they are culpable, because they had a piece in designing it, they had a piece in executing it. They determined, when you go back and I did a whole breakdown episode on this. The CIA and the FBI have conducted an unimaginable amount of assassinations on foreign soil and on our own soil, right? You want to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. You want to talk about John Lennon. You want to talk about John F. Kennedy. You want to talk about all of these people that have been, there's a laundry list of assassinations by 3-letter agencies that have happened on American soil. And almost every time they try to find somebody who's a loner, somebody who doesn't have a lot of family or friends, somebody who, so when we get into this conversation and we talk about the potential, this wasn't the exact narrative of some 20-year-old getting a rifle and executing this task, sneaking past and knowing exactly where to go without any red flags being raised, and then actually legitimately being able to take this shot after people are pointing fingers at him, calling him out, people who it's not their job to find people who are threats. It was just that obvious that this kid was doing this action, that he was going to try to assassinate Trump. It was that obvious that people who it's not even their job to call these type of threats out were able to immediately identify the threat and call it out to law enforcement. When the law enforcement who is paid to do this, when there's hundreds of these Secret Service people around, couldn't even find this guy on one of the only rooftops in the whole vicinity that you could have taken this shot from. Doesn't make any sense at all. Doesn't make any sense at all. So the idea that there's more to this story than what people are talking about in the mainstream media shouldn't shock any of you. This shouldn't be crazy conspiracy theory stuff to understand that 3-letter agencies have historically conducted assassinations. Now, the people that they've conducted those assassinations against traditionally are not people that they've agreed with on very, very serious topics of discussion when it comes to American politics. There has not been another individual in this country's history that has been as controversial and as against the mainstream narratives that have been given to them, against the flow of politics from the right and the left. Donald Trump is the most controversial presidential figure in history. So the idea that this was executed so easily by some 20-year-old compared to it was designed and allowed to happen by a 3-letter agency, it just seems obvious to me that there's so much more to this story than what we are being told right now.